I'm Destiny, your host. You know, we know me. And this is my friend Jazz. She's very beautiful. Also, my cover art for my whole like YouTube thing was drawn by her. So not only is she like such a great friend and beautiful on the outside, she's also beautiful on the inside. She's very talented. She's a great painter, seamstress, creator of clothing. So please go check her out on Instagram and everything, because everything she creates is super cool, super unique, and she makes clothes for everybody. So yeah.
Yay, thank you. That's such a cute introduction.
Yeah. We're gonna start off with like a tarot reading. Just what do we need to know today? Anything else you would like to add about your intro?
Follow me on Instagram, artbabe, 2 T's, 2 E's. I think you pretty much said everything that I want to say.
Okay, good. Yeah. I'm gonna attach it too, so like people can see it. Shit, these fucking nails so make it hard. But hot as shit in here right now.
She's good at shuffling.
Thanks. Yes, you see the bridge.
Yeah. Right, she slowed it down so that way it didn't go nowhere. I was like, oh.
I had to practice that though. I literally used to really suck at shuffling.
I mean, with nails it's hard too.
Yeah, that shuffle right there was not it. Yeah, especially with these long ones. I think I'm gonna get them.
Is this from that one girl?
Yeah.
Go over there.
You should go. I'm going today because I'm gonna get because I started this new class and I'm like trying not to have as long ones, you know, for my acting class or whatever. But I like the little almond ones, so I'm gonna see if she can do that, or some small square ones. But yeah, these are only $35, y'all. So
shout
if you're
out to the plug,
Glitz Glam. But yeah, if you're in LA, I would suggest going to her because yeah, she's doing $35 deals to the end of the year. Okay, so pick a card, any card. I feel like a magic trick. But also I have to use my book because we're still in the learning process, but
you know, somewhere over here.
Cool. Alright. Look at you.
Yay, Queen of Swords.
We got the Queen of Swords, y'all. So, like I said, I need to use my book because I don't know exactly what it is yet, but
it's okay, we love a good meaning.
Right. Yeah, exactly when it's exact. Okay. Okay. So I think, as you can see, Queen of Swords. So this is kind of saying that I think you're gonna kind of figure out more of what you want and just kind of like not like laying down the law, but there's gonna be some sort of maybe something going on in your life where you're kind of taking a stand to it in a sense, right? This is you like kind of sitting in yourself, knowing yourself, and kind of like laying it down. Like this is what I want and this is what I need to better myself, and you know, not taking it like in a way that it's kind of like setting boundaries in a sense, but also like you're like, okay, this is what I need, and even if that means like maybe cutting people off or doing certain things, as long as it's like for you and for your protection and taking care of yourself, then I think that's what this is.
That's so funny because remember I told you I was like thinking about moving.
Yes. Oh my god, no. Yes. Oh my god, this is not what that means. Don't move. No, but yeah, honestly, yeah. But also too, like, yeah, she looks a little like. Not like mad, but she's just
like
kind of firm, exactly. So I think it's more of that. And then, yeah, I think it's just kind of like saying that you're gonna get met with some sort of knowledge and wisdom about a situation, whatever is going on.
I love some knowledge.
But yeah, there we go. Like she said, I love some knowledge. All right.
One thing about me, I love some knowledge.
Okay, so thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. My first question is, what is your definition of motherhood? And then kind of going on after that, what do you think being a good mother is?
Well, I guess when I think about it, I kind of think of like movies.
Okay.
I kind of like the I guess like how they would kind of describe it, you know, like always being there for them, you know, not really like judging them. I guess just kind of like being like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, I guess, because like, I guess putting yourself to the side and putting your child first, I guess I would say, because I feel like a lot of like issues that I had with my mom was her being more selfish, but then it's like, I guess when you get older, you kind of realize like sometimes you do have to be selfish.
Right.
You kind of forget them for that, but I guess that would be my main answer. And then you said, what was the question?
Yeah, so just your general definition, and then what do you think being a good mother is? So
okay.
You kind of answered both of that. Yeah. And then what was your relationship with your mother, I guess, like growing up, and then what it's like now? Because, you know, so I think sometimes it's gets different or becomes different when you get older because you mature a little bit or you realize certain things.
Totally.
So yeah, however detailed or not detailed you want to get, but how it was growing up specifically first, I guess.
Let's see. So I remember being really little and like my mom really being there, like the main one for me, because my dad used to drink a lot, so like she'd be like the main protector, I guess. But then I got like to like high school, and like she kind of started going through some things. Like she started like she lost her brother, and that kind of like triggered something in her where she kind of like, I would say, started like being like fake, like you know, like she
being fake. Really?
Yeah, like fake. Like she kind of like would steal money from me, like
what?
just do like a lot of weird
Your
shit.
mom
Yeah.
would?
Yeah, like a lot of weird shit. But like, I don't know. Then I kind of like stopped talking to her for a little bit, and then I'm not getting all sad.
Oh no,
and then,
it's okay. Yeah.
Let's see.
So you didn't talk to her for a long time?
No, not for like, I would say maybe like 2 or 3 years. But then I kind of just started doing my own thing and like focusing on myself, and then kind of just like realized like, you know, like if that shit was to ever happen to me, you know, I probably would be really sad too.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then but let's see, I kind of like raised myself, so I kind of like was alone for a little bit, but then I kind of was like, you know what, like it's your family, you kind of like have to forgive them even if you don't want to have like a relationship with them, because it's just better for yourself. And then like through that, I don't know, we kind of like, when I got older, it just got better, you know, and she kind of like knew that she fucked up and that she wasn't the best person that she could be, but you know, it's just kind of like a lot of forgiveness, but we're like
on your part, I think.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, because especially being the kid and stuff too, I feel like that's harder too. Because then it's also like it seems like you wanted a parent, but also then it falls back on you. You're like, I have to forgive them for myself to be able to move forward. You know.
Totally, and I'm the oldest sister too, so I have like little sisters, so it's definitely like
the oldest always get it the hardest.
Yeah, totally. You know, and I was taking care of my little sisters. I was kind of like, I guess, being mom for them, which was kind of hard being, you know, very young too.
Yeah.
And needing a mom yourself too, but
and then having to help your siblings, because you're just a kid yourself too,
no,
and then you see they need somebody. So
yeah, no, I missed a lot of school because we didn't have a babysitter for my little sisters. So, but I ended up going to like another school and graduating early. So thankfully, shout out to the alternative school.
I went to an alternative school too.
Shout out to the alternative school.
No, but yours was valid. Mine was just because I was being stupid and fucking up.
I mean, I guess I could have stayed in my regular class. I mean, I was fucking up too. Like, I was definitely ditching, and I was definitely like doing a lot of bad shit. You know, sneaking out and shit. But you know, I don't know. It just kind of makes you not a better person, but just kind of like, in a sense that like, you know, you can actually accept people for like what they did, you know, and just kind of like move past, because like nobody's perfect. Like, you know, like I feel like that always happens with people's moms, is that they always have like some sort of like, oh well, like we fight a lot, you know, this and that, you know, but it's like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's because they love you and because you love them too, but you know, some shit just happens. And
I feel like that's so big and mature of you though, because I feel like there's a lot of other people that have been through like less with their parents and that don't necessarily forgive them. So I think like you should like offer yourself like, I don't know, like forgiveness and graciousness too, because that like is really big of you to be able to be like, I realize that she was just a person too, and maybe she fucked up, but like I'm gonna forgive her. But that's really big, you know, because a lot of people can't do that still. So I think that's a huge thing too, you know. Do you feel like it made you mature a lot, like more though, like younger, because you had to like kind of step into all of that?
Oh, totally. You know, like a little bit. Let's say, like I was 16 when I wasn't talking to my mom, and
so you were still in high school.
Yeah. And then maybe that next year, we kind of like fixed things a little bit, started talking a little bit. And the next year, I think I was 17, and my dad kicked me out. So I've kind of always kind of been like mature, you know, like I guess like it had to be, you know, maybe not like in the best way, like about like the way that I would handle things, like, you know, like obviously I was like, you know, going out a lot, but you know, like,
but you're trying to
being 18, you know, too, you know,
you're young, you're trying to go out, but also it's like too, you're trying to cope with things too, because it's like home shit is going on, so you're like, I want to go out and be around other people, you know, because at home's not the best right now.
Literally,
literally. Dang. So, but like, did you have other like figures in your life you think that helped? Like, was your grandma close to you, or anybody like aunts?
Everybody. So I lived in Denver, and all my family's in California or New Mexico.
Oh dang! So they were all kind of far.
Yeah, but I you know, like I really like depended on my friends, and you know, like shout out to like my friends that like, you know, my best friend Angelica, she took me in, you know, and like because you can't really live anywhere until you're 18.
Right.
You can't really rent a space. So I got to stay with her for a little bit, and I was also seeing like this guy at the time, so I was staying with him for a little bit too. But it's like as soon as I turned 18, I got me and Jaime, we got together. So shout out to Jaime. Jaime is literally so amazing.
Yeah.
Literally like my big brother.
He's so sweet. I love, like, when I stayed with them, I was like, oh my god, all of them too. Yeah.
They're just so sweet. I love them so much. So, like, shout out to them because they were really, like, my rock, too. And, like, I was always with them. Like, I think that's why I love my friends so much, too. And, like, because they're, like, my family, like. That's
what they say, too. Because they're always, like, friends of the family that you choose. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, well, we can't necessarily choose our family. And sometimes some of us are lucky and get really good family members. And some of us get really shitty family members. But at least, like, if you have friends, like, I think that helps. But also, like, it is kind of sad, though, because it's like you do want that relationship with your family, I think, but you're kind of like, I think you hit a point where you realize, like, maybe it's not going to necessarily be what is portrayed as a good family or, like, what other people have, but, like, I'll take, like, the small things that we do have and try to move forward with that,
No, literally, that is literally my life. Right. Like, I literally revolved around my friends, because they were, like, literally, I trusted them way more than I trusted my family at that point. And it felt crazy, like these people that I don't really, that I did, obviously I didn't know, but like, I didn't grow up with them, like they've shown me more love and respect, at that time than my family was. So it was definitely, I don't know, shout out to my friends.
Did your mom like ever apologize or anything about anything that had happened when you were growing up?
Yeah, she said sorry, like, a couple times, but like sometimes she'll bring it up to a little bit. She's like she'll tell me like, I'm sorry, like the way I used to treat you, stuff like that. I just kind of like, I acknowledge it, but I don't want to cry, so I don't really talk about it.
Okay, I'm sorry. No,
like with her.
Oh,
like,
with her.
Yeah. With her. Like I'll be like, like, oh, it's fine, but like I don't really talk about it because I'm like, I don't really want to bring that up because
it still hurts, because it's like, even though it might have happened a while ago, especially when you're a kid, like I feel like everything indirectly, like us, I mean, going into therapy mode, but like everything that we do now really stems from when we were a kid, and it's fucking crazy when you really think about like the relationships you choose or how you react to certain things. And like a lot of the times you think it's now, and then you look back and you're like, oh shit, this is something that happened when I was a kid, or this is why I feel this way now. And it's just, it kind of sucks, because it's like, especially if you have the bad things. Because then you have to acknowledge it, and otherwise, like, I don't know, or I would like be like me and push it away, and then it all surfaces. And I'm like, okay, now I gotta.
And then you gotta deal with it all at once.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's better to deal with it in the moment. But
I agree. That's something definitely that I've been learning with too, because it's like, you get older, you can either ignore it, or you just deal with it and let yourself feel the feelings that came with it.
So she did do you think that like helped you move forward a little bit, like, or it was still like it was kind of like too little too late, or was it like you're able to, you said you were able to accept it and let it in? So
I accepted it, because it's like I remember the way that the relationship that we used to have before that happened, and I kind of really took in consideration, like she lost her baby brother, our mental health may not be the greatest, like, so I took it as, her mental health really declined. She had maybe like an episode or something like that, or
did you think like bipolar or something like that maybe, or?
Well, it was right after she had my little sister, so it's kind of maybe like some postpartum depression probably with like losing her brother, and just kind of like
everything at once.
Yeah, everything. So that's what it kind of like I took it as. And I don't know, I'm just, I was just thankful that I could, like, help out my little sisters, they weren't, like, trying to do that shit alone,
Yeah. That's big of you. So they probably look up to you as some sort of, like, mother figure, you think? Or, yeah?
I tried to be.
But you're a sister, yeah. So, and you're young, too, so, but I feel like maybe in their head they probably... But I mean, even if they grow up and be brats or something, but I'm sure that I don't know.
They are brats.
Yeah, I'm sure that they appreciate it, or when they get older, they're gonna really look back and be like, "Oh, Jazz was really there for us, like when we were little and everything." Yeah. Which like sucks that you didn't do that as a kid, but I think like that's good for them,
Totally. And like I don't know, it's a lot of time now. Like I kind of like black it out. Like I don't really think about like that time in my life, like.
Dang.
So
yeah,
like to think about it, it's just funny because it's just like, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. I feel that too, though, because I feel that, especially if you get older and stuff and you kind of move on, you kind of like more focus on now, you know what I mean? Because I was like that too when I moved. I was like, I'm just not going to think about anything. But then once again, with my therapy, it's like I always have to reprocess. It's always stuff that happened when I was a kid, so I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks. But then it is good, like in some sort of sense.
Tissue.
Yes, let me get you. Yeah, I know something like that. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so how do you think like your relationships now, like currently? Do you think it's kind of you talk on the phone, you don't really see it?
Oh yeah, we talk. Yeah, we text. She texts me all the time. We text a lot. You know, like it's. I mean, it's probably the same how it would be if that didn't happen. To be honest, you know, like
yeah.
Like you know, she's very genuine. You know, like sometimes you know, like nobody's perfect. You know, people have certain personality characteristics that are like you know, like maybe not in favor of myself. Like you know, like
what do you mean?
Like sometimes she's kind of how do I say it? Like she'll try to convince you to do something for her benefit. You know, like like I don't really know, you know, and it's just kind of like you know that's just her. Like you know
that's how she is.
Just accepted. Yeah, that's just you know like I've accepted it. You know, so it's like just sometimes personality traits that I don't exactly agree with, but you know like I don't let it affect me because I'm just like I'm not gonna do it. So she you know you're like. It's just how she treats other people, so
right.
You know, I don't really let it get to me too much because you know, like I'm sure maybe smoking weed isn't her favorite. You know,
that makes
sense.
No
one's perfect. You know,
yeah.
So
but I mean, that's different.
That is different.
I think it's different. Yeah, I can understand if it was
like
like because I feel like being selfish or manipulative or whatever, those characteristic traits are different compared to like smoking weed. That's just more of like a habit. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, or maybe like you know, like or you know, like a different. I don't know. I couldn't speak for her, but you know,
right.
I guess that's just like you know, I just accepted it. You know, I could get mad at her and you know, scold her and tell her like do this and this and that. I mean, I'll tell her like you know like oh like you shouldn't. Why are you saying that? Like why are you like let them do whatever. You know like I'll let her know if I'm like in the vicinity and it's happening. You know,
with your siblings.
Yeah. But cause yeah, it's usually with my siblings. But
I feel that. Yeah, that happened with me. I think in my mom. Well, like one of our like worst fights I think was when I was like 17, and then the way she was talking with my siblings, I was like, like don't talk to them like that because I was like that's how you talk to me, and it was like not. Yeah, it was not good, and then it exploded into this huge thing, you know. But yeah, the same thing. She was like, I should like I'm gonna kick you out and all this stuff. So now it's kind of like I have to figure out where to say things, when to say things, but it's usually if I'm in person because I notice that she has like tendencies to be a little mean or like snap or whatever, and I'm like, can we not do that? But yeah, but it's also like then they get super defensive because then they feel like you're trying to teach them how to parent. So I'm like, I don't know what to do here.
Exactly. You can only suggest it. You can't really like you know like tell them like based on my experience you should probably not do that because they're like well what the fuck like
right that's how my mom was too, and I'm like okay I guess I can't do anything here.
Literally.
But do you think like you want to be a mom? Is there anything you've ever like are you one of those like
that's funny because like I was just with my family right now and I was hanging out. I have my dad's side of my family and they're I have two older cousins, and then it's me, and then it's my little sisters, and then it's
oh cute. And
you want it? Well, they're here in California.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they're here in California. So it's my dad's side of the family. They were visiting, and they have so many little kids. You know, I was just like, oh my god, like I don't have any. Like I'm not even in a relationship. Like, my cousins have so many kids, like 3 kids already. She's like maybe 2 years older than me.
Okay, that's still so young though.
Yeah, but it's like small town mentality. I have to remind myself that everybody is already having kids and having a family. And same with everybody in Colorado too, where I'm from. Like everybody's already having kids. And
right. Everyone I went to high school with still,
So, and then we were whatever. I'm very great with kids. Like I raised my little sisters. Like I'm always been great with kids. Sometimes I used to date guys with kids. I don't know more. That's my rule. I don't date guys with kids anymore because they use them against you.
Oh my gosh. Really not you being a stepmother.
Literally, I was a good stepmom too.
Wait. Oh, it's like the camera. Hold on, wait. Just make sure you're inside. Okay, there we go.
And I was with my little cousin, and I was teaching him how to swim. And he has a little bit of ADHD.
Oh.
Or not ADHD. What's the other one?
Oh, ADD. Autistic.
He's a
Oh,
little
so different.
So A. Why they all start with A?
Yeah, that's true. Well, attention deficit disorder, and then attention hyperactive disorder, and then I don't know something. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know
I
what it
apologize,
is.
but yeah, it's one of those.
Some of those didn't come
So he's like a little autistic, and I was teaching him how to swim because I guess they've been taking him like swim classes for like 2 years, and he's kind of like, I can swim, but he swims and doesn't. But he's like he doesn't want nobody to teach him. So I was kind of like if you want to play with the kids, like they want you to swim, and like I'll teach you how to swim. So I was teaching him how to swim.
That's so
and my
sweet.
tia comes over to me, she's like, wow, Jesse, like you've always been so nurturing, like you've been such a good mom, like all the stuff about kids. And I was like, oh my god, I was kind of like not scared, but I was kind of like, oh, like I do be like this. Why am I like this? But I guess I would when the time's right.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to rush it because
that's a good thing. Yeah.
I feel like I don't understand how. No offense to people who are married and have kids, but I cannot have a kid and not be married. I feel like that's very important.
That's for you. Yeah, that's just what you want for yourself. Yeah. That's valid,
My family, they definitely got married way too young. And they had kids before they got married, and then it's just too much drama from that,
Right.
Save myself some drama.
No, I feel
I
that.
have no baby daddy drama. So I feel like that's my biggest concern. I don't want a baby daddy.
I don't want kids, so I commend you that you.
I don't know. I'll have kids if it's with the right person, but right now, I probably won't have kids. I'm just gonna be the rich auntie.
Right, that's me. That's what I want to be. I've already decided a while ago, and I hate when I tell people, they're like, "Oh, you'll change your mind." I'm like, "Why? That can't just be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
But I do realize the difference too. Like my aunt and uncle, they waited really long. They got married later. They had kids almost near their 40s and stuff. And they're both it seems so much easier because they're one financially secure. They've been together for a while, so they got to experience dating and married life and do all these cool things before they had kids.
Yeah.
And it just seems easier, you know what I mean? And I think, not saying that's the case for everybody, but I think sometimes it's better to wait till you're older instead of rushing it. Me personally, I want to live my life in my 20s. I don't want to be dating and getting married and having children by then.
I'm worried about if my man is liking other people's pictures.
I'm so
all that shit. That's so stupid.
That's a new generation.
That is.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not really talking about this person. Hopefully, he doesn't watch this or whatever. But he said he doesn't have social media, so I was like, oh, this is good. I like that better.
I like that social media too.
Right, unless he's hiding a marriage, and I'm just kidding.
Well, this is awkward because he wasn't hiding a marriage, but he was indeed hiding a girlfriend. His username is TR_busy, so if anyone knows him or his girlfriend, please call him out.
They're usually hiding something, or they're crazy.
No, don't say that. He just said he was too distracted on it, so I was like, okay, where's your LinkedIn though? Let me see that.
That's true. That's how I feel too. We don't trust the guys on no social media.
Right. No, but
we don't.
We do, but it's
how come I can't see what you're doing?
Right. That's what I said. I was like, why can't I stalk you? This is kind of weird.
I want to see who comments on your posts, is it girls?
Oh my god, I'm so done. No, this is good for our mental health. I feel like. What was I gonna say? So, do you have any friends that are moms? Do you notice anything different, or they're just kind of the same, or do you think there's a different quality about them, or?
I used to have a best friend who had kids very young. And I was actually the godmother of one of the babies.
You were the godmother?
Mm-hmm. Aww. But let me tell you, so maybe I've known her forever, we were probably friends for maybe 6 years already, and that was when I was maybe 18. So we were knowing each other for a really, really long time already. So she started having kids. I knew her before she started having kids. Having kids. I knew her baby daddy, whatever. Well, her baby daddy eventually started hitting her, cheating on her. And stuff
oh my god!
And, she would call me. I would let her come over. I would go pick her up. I was there for her, answer every call. Well, eventually they got back together, and then she just cut me off. Didn't talk to me. Didn't let me tell my godchild happy birthday. Didn't tell me where the address was at.
That was him. You think?
Oh, totally. It was him. That was him and him.
That makes me so sad when people get stuck in things like that,
and I was the only friend out of all her friends who actually would bring toys for the kids, bring food, play with them, and one of her daughters was special, so I would always pay extra attention to her because she was she's the first one, I was there for all of the births, it was just crazy.
Wow, you were there for all.
I was there, not at the birth.
Oh, okay, but you were,
I would pull up,
I would pull up, yeah. And so you haven't talked to her since then?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
I know they have more kids now. She's probably like on her 5th kid with him.
Wow,
but
with
like
the same guy.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because he's like on the DL too.
He's the gay a little bit. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, and he's cheating on her.
I told.
Wait, this is the one you told me. Oh my god. Wait, you can say it or you can not. Or you can,
I guess I did already tell that on the other podcast too. This is just like more random, but so my friend who shall not be named, one of my best friends.
He who shall not be named.
Yes. So her baby daddy and my friend, my ex-friend, they were at my house drinking with my friend, and like just a bunch of friends there, whatever. And they call me and they're like, "Oh, we're faded, like we miss you." Blah, blah. They're like laying in my bed, whatever. I'm like, "Okay, whatever." They're just being faded. You know, 18. We're 18 at this time, so I'm like, whatever. They're just being silly, you know, faded nights. Well, then my friend tells me, he's like, "I gotta tell you something, like when you come back." I was like, "Okay, whatever." And I go back and he was like, "Oh yeah, like I got really, really faded, and then your like friend's baby daddy, like, you know, he sucked my dick." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, he wanted to." And I was like,
That's crazy.
And I was like, "Well, we gotta tell homegirl." And he's like, "No, we can't." And so we just kept that secret for like a really long time. And
Did you tell her eventually?
when he started beating her ass, yeah.
Oh, because wait, this was before all of that.
This was before that.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. So that's what a horrible man. Like
And he would always talk shit to her, always call her like stupid, like.
if you like that, that's fine. It's just like he cheated. Like I didn't with like just cheating. You know what I mean? And the fact that he was like beating her too, that's crazy. Yeah.
It made sense though, because I'm like, dude, like he don't fuck with you, you know, like.
Yeah, he probably doesn't even. Yeah, like women in general, maybe. Like he's just.
I mean, I know there's bi guys, like
Of course,
believe in
yeah.
bi guys, but like, yeah, you don't. If you're comfortable, or you know, like I feel like if you're with someone for that long, you know, just be honest.
Right.
You know, maybe he wasn't comfortable with himself, or he's using her to hide, but I don't know.
I don't know what he's obviously not comfortable. I think anybody that's abusive and things like that, obviously it's
True.
like a reflection of how they feel about themselves. You know what I mean? They're taking it out because they want to feel some sort of power or something because they don't feel comfortable or they feel powerless or whatever. You know, so they feel like they need to control somebody else or something. But so you guys are not even friends anymore. Aw.
No, but I have her mom on Facebook, so I know they probably be like looking at me on there, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah, they're looking at me up there. Oh my god.
Seeing me be great, but that's okay.
CPP, right? Oh my gosh. So any last thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? No, I'm just kidding. But like, just on general motherhood, anything else you want to add?
I mean, it's just like to everyone, to each their own. You know, like I don't know. I guess forgiveness is important on your own. If you forgive someone, that doesn't mean you have to have them in your life. You know, like, so I guess, like, if you do have, like, mild problems like that, like, you know, just forgive it for your own benefit because it'll feel better in the long run.
Right.
You know, and even though, like, I still kind of, like, am sad about it, like, it could be worse. You know, like, it could be, like, you know, people, like, I saw this meme and it was, like, these two girls and it said, when you have mommy issues and when you have daddy issues. You know? I was like, dang.
You got both?
Yeah,
I'm just
I was like,
you're like,
oh, a hybrid of that.
Aw. No, I feel that on the forgiveness thing though, because that took me that's why when I hear, well, I guess there were issues with my mom and me too, but I feel like I was I held resentment so badly, but like it took me so long, maybe not so long, because I do meet people that are even older that still even haven't forgiven, so I feel like, yeah, in the grand scheme of times, I guess we still are young, you know what I mean? But I'm glad I've realized that more now, but even one of my therapists was like, yeah, you don't have to necessarily forgive them for them, but for you, it's the whole, I said this another time, but like it's like hella corny, but this hot stone analogy, because it's like a Buddhist thing or whatever, but it's like forgiveness is, or what is it, resentment is like holding on to a hot stone and hoping that they burn, because it's like you're holding on to it and you're like, you know what I mean, like
you're the one hurting from it.
Exactly, yeah, and they kind of maybe don't remember they moved on or whatever the fuck, so it's like sometimes you just have to do it for yourself. If that person is really bad, like, yeah, and just because it's family too doesn't necessarily like mean you need to have them, or you can have them in a certain way where, oh, maybe I'm not going to see you, but anyways, yeah, so we were saying forgiveness. It's good to forgive. Sorry, last thoughts, concern.
No, that was pretty much it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you being open. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and being comfortable sharing all of that. And we really appreciate it. Hopefully, like somebody was able to hear something that they resonated with, or that was able to help them a little bit, or they're like, oh, maybe that was more my story, so you don't feel as alone in it. But thank you so much, everybody. I love you. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Hopefully, I'll be posting more. I've been kind of sucking at editing, but we're gonna try to do it more than once a month. And make sure to follow my friend on all her social media.
So I can cry some more.
I will. No, she'll like launch her. No, she's like a hot IG baddie though. So like you'll see like you'll be like, oh, I see this like Southsider, and then you'll see this and be like, wow, who's this? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We're multifaceted, so that's what we're saying. Anyways, thank you so much, and please watch next time.